What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 4 of OEM Plusing my Lexus 3IS. In the previous episode, I showed you how to install these LED illuminated scuff plates, and today I'll show you how to install power folding mirrors. Special shout out goes to Cito Demeter of Club Lexus forums for creating the guide, and without further ado, let's proceed to the installation. So unfortunately there aren't any complete kits for sale, so you will need to do some sourcing. The first thing you'll need to get is a window switch from a Lexus GS that has a power folding button. You can find these on eBay or at a local junkyard if you're lucky. The second and I guess the third thing you'll need to get are those power folding mechanisms. You may also be lucky to find them at a junkyard from a Lexus GS or ES. I found them on eBay. All you have to make sure is that they're for a left-hand drive model. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove our OEM window switch and make sure that the GS one that we bought actually works. All of the functions on mine work, which means I can proceed to switching them over. To switch them over, you just need to remove both the switches from their shells. On the Lexus 3IS, you have these 3 screws that you need to undo, and then you pry them out from those clips and it's gonna pop out. On the Lexus GS, there are no screws. You just have to pry out those clips, preferably with 2 trim tools at the same time. Do not rush this process. Be very careful as these clips do tend to break. Just work your way in, gently pry it out, try to wiggle it out, and eventually it's going to come out. You do need to repeat the same process on the Lexus 3IS part that we unscrewed from the shell, and after that is done we have 2 completely identically shaped switches. At this point you could just switch them over, however I am not a fan of these chrome accents, so I will switch over all the buttons from mine to the new module from the Lexus GS. The buttons do remove fairly easy, which makes this process a breeze. However, I did manage to break my OEM ring trim, so unfortunately I will have to keep one of the chrome accents. After switching all the buttons, this is what I got left with. Now we just have to put it back in the shell, and trust me, it's a way easier process than removing it. And now we have a window switch with a power folding mirror function for a Lexus 3IS ready. I did go ahead and made sure that the switch still works after I switched all the buttons and the shells, and it does work. And I also realized that the chrome accent is not even that big of a deal, as I do have some other chrome accents in my interior. Next step is taking off the mirrors. To remove the mirrors, you obviously have to remove the door cards first, which is super easy. You have these 4 screws, 3 of them are behind the covers. You undo them and pop the panel out. Then there's going to be these 3 10mm nuts that are behind the plastic covers that you have to undo in order to remove the mirror. It definitely helps to have some sort of magnet tool. I did drop 2 of my nuts inside the door and it helped me to get them out. Once you do all that, the mirror is finally out and is ready for some surgical procedures. I apologize in advance, I did not get the best angles in the procedure on the mirrors. However, I will try to be as detailed as possible in my narration, and I'll try to include as many images as possible. The first thing you have to do on the mirror is to undo the screw and remove the wire hanger. Then you need to remove this rubber seal, and that's where the angles got bad. Now you need to undo these 3 screws and the mirror assembly should come apart. Now we have to take apart the whole top portion of the mirror itself. Start by prying out the mirror glass and then remove these 4 screws. In the video I remove all 5, but you don't need to remove the last 5th one, as it will make the process messier by making some panels come apart that don't need to come apart. After the mirror has been taken apart, we have to undo these 4 screws to remove the manual folding mirror mechanism. Here we can actually compare the manual folding versus the power folding mechanism side by side. In order to completely remove the manual folding mechanisms, we have to de-pin the wires. So I'm going to start by taking pictures of where all the wires are pinned so that I can properly repin it after the installation. Then I'm going to take a pick tool and try to carefully pull the connector apart. Then I will separate the 2 layers of the connectors, and I will again take pictures of both of them so that I make sure I place the wires back where they belong. In order to remove the wires from the connector, you need to carefully press down with the pick tool on the metal tab at the beginning of the connector and slide it out. You can press all the metal tabs at once and then just slide all the wires at once as well. Once our connector has been deepened, we can slide all of these pieces out, including our manual folding mechanism. Now we can slide our new power folding mechanism in. Mind that we do actually need to slide 2 extra wires through our new module, just so that we can power our new power mirror modules. These wires can be any color that you want, however the OEM colors are green and blue. In the connector that we deepened, there were 2 empty slots and they both came with the blank connectors that we can actually use. This is something the camera also didn't catch, but you basically have to strip the wires to the same length and then clip those connectors down. Another thing the camera did not catch was me repinning the wires, but it's basically the same process as depinning it, but in reverse. It's actually even easier than depinning it. I actually made a crucial mistake by repinning the connector way too early before I even slid all those other pieces in, so make sure you repin your connector as your last step. In terms of where do you pin your new wires in, the green one is at the top of the connector and the blue one is at the bottom. Now let's pretend I didn't repin the wires just yet. This is where the new power folding mechanism goes in. It is the same spot as we had our old mechanism in. You gotta secure it using the exact same 4 screws that the old one was. We also can't forget to splice our wires together, the ones that came with the new module and the ones we pulled all the way down to the pins. After another repin and putting everything back together, this is finally ready to go back in the car. I went ahead and reinstalled the mirror back in the car, and without putting back the door card, I just connected the switch to make sure that it works, and voila, it does indeed work, so this mission is accomplished. I went ahead and put everything back together and tested it one more time, and I am very happy with the result. Then I obviously went ahead and did the other mirror, which was way faster since I didn't do the same mistakes. And just like that, our Lexus 3IS has another feature that it should have come from factory with. I am a bit bummed out that the auto function does not work. Apparently it does require some ECU coding, but it is also possible that it's a factory issue, as I did find a module that is supposed to fix this problem on AliExpress and it's like 40 bucks. So I ordered it. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna keep you posted in the comments. Maybe I'll post another short on it and let's see how that works. In any case, I appreciate you guys for watching and I will see you in the next one.